मूर्ति श्री अरुण मिश्रा। उपस्थित गणमान्य अतिथियों का स्वागत करेंगे एनएचआरसी के महासचिव श्री भरत लाल। कौशिक, हम सभी जानते हैं एनएचआरसी मानवाधिकारों पर चर्चा को आकार देने के लिए देश विदेश में विभिन्न हितधारकों के साथ जुड़ता है और पिछले एक वर्ष की बात करें तो पिछले एक वर्ष के दौरान CSAM सहित 4 और परामर्श जारी की गई और साथ ही साथ मानवाधिकार उल्लंघन के पीड़ितों को 18.27 करोड़ रुपए से अधिक की राहत के साथ 88,000 से अधिक मामलों का समाधान भी किया गया।
Yes, absolutely, Preeti. Namaskar, good morning and welcome to this very special broadcast. Today is the International Day of Human Rights. 10th December 2023 also marks the 75th anniversary of one of the world's most groundbreaking global pledges, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This landmark document enshrines the inalienable rights that everyone is entitled to as a human being, regardless of race, color, religion, sex, language, politics, or other opinions, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. The declaration was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly in Paris on the 10th of December 1948 and sets out for the first time fundamental human rights to be universally protected. The Universal Declaration shows the way to common values and approaches that can help resolve tensions and create the security and stability our world craves for. This is the message of the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on the International Human Rights Day. And as Preeti just pointed out, the theme for the International Human Rights Day 2023 is freedom, equality and justice for all. And as we are going to see the function today at Bharat Mandapam, Pragati Maidan in New Delhi, the function that is being conducted by the National Human Rights Commission, the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar, will be the chief guest, and the Chairman of the National Human Rights Commission, Justice Arun Mishra, and the Secretary General, Shri Bharat Lal, and other dignitaries are already present at the Bharat Mandapam to welcome the Honorable Vice President of India.
बिल्कुल कौशिक, और जैसे आपने जिक्र भी किया, भारत के माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति श्री जगदीप धनखड़ के भारत मंडपम प्रगति मैदान में आगमन के पश्चात राष्ट्रगान से कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ होगा। जैसे कि हम सभी जानते हैं, इसके बाद दीप प्रज्वलन, पुष्पगुच्छ और मोमेंटो उनके स्वागत के लिए बिल्कुल तैयार हैं और उपस्थित अतिथिगण का स्वागत करेंगे सेक्रेटरी जनरल NHRC श्री भरत लाल। और साथ ही साथ आपको बताना चाहेंगे, राष्ट्रीय मानवाधिकार आयोग भारत के लिए ये दिन राष्ट्रीय और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय समुदाय के सभी हितधारकों के लिए अपने अतीत और भविष्य के कार्यों और जिम्मेदारियों पर विचार करने और मानवाधिकारों के प्रचार और साथ ही साथ संरक्षण की दिशा में काम करने का एक अवसर और एक अनुस्मारक के रूप में कार्य करता है। और जैसे हमने अभी जिक्र भी किया कि जैसे हम देख पा रहे हैं, दीप प्रज्वलन बिल्कुल हो रहा है, तो भारत मंडपम चलें क्या?
बिल्कुल, and we take you over live and we see the dignitaries of the National Human Rights Commission and the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar, who have just lit the traditional lamp and are now taking their seats on the dais. And today also is a red letter day in the annals of human rights in India, because this body was set up in the year 1993, which shows the government's commitment to protecting and upholding human rights of every Indian.
सभी के लिए स्वतंत्रता, समानता और न्याय सुनिश्चित करें, ये इस वर्ष मानवाधिकार दिवस का विषय है।
And the Honorable Chairman National Human Rights Commission presenting a bouquet to the Honorable Vice President of India, and the other members also we can see, Ambassador Gyaneshwar Mule, Member National Human Rights Commission, and Mr. Shombi Sharp, the UN representative, is also here. Justice Arun Mishra presenting a shawl to the Honorable Vice President of India, and also a memento on this occasion.
उन्होंने धन्यवाद किया और अब अपना स्थान ग्रहण कर रहे हैं। स्वागत किया उनका और अब विधिवत स्वागत के लिए आएंगे चेयरपर्सन NHRC श्री अरुण मिश्रा, न्यायाधीश श्री अरुण मिश्रा।
Good morning to all of you. Namaskar. Today we all have assembled here at this beautiful complex Bharat Mandapam to celebrate 75th Human Rights Day. As we all know, it observed annually on 10th December to commemorate the adoption of Universal Declaration of Human Rights by the United Nations General Assembly in 1948. On this occasion, on behalf of the National Human Rights Commission, let me congratulate each one of you involved in the protection and promotion of human rights of all human beings. India, 5,000 years old civilization, and a country of 1.43 billion people, has deep-rooted ethos and democracy. Idea of equality, liberty, justice, and fraternity is ingrained in all of us. Empathy and compassion to all forms of life is a way of life. Reflecting this Indian ethos and values 75 years back, when a Universal Declaration of Human Rights was being drafted, it was Hansa Mehta from India who introduced gender equality, and Lakshmi Menon, another Indian, introduced non-discrimination into the document. As we all know, Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji, before assuming the constitutional role, was known to have always fought for the rights of people. He always stood against the injustice. Sir, your commitment to this basic Indian ethos has been a source of strength to all of us. Today, your presence lends support to our collective efforts to protect and promote human rights of each and every individual. Presently, the winter session of Parliament is underway. However, Honorable Vice President of India has very kindly agreed to grace the occasion. After the function, from here he'll be going straight to the airport as he has prior engagements. This shows his commitment to be with all of us and be a torchbearer of human rights. On behalf of NHRC India and your behalf, I extend a very warm welcome to Honorable Vice President of India. Indeed, we are grateful to you, sir. May I request all of you to welcome Honorable Vice President of India with a round of applause. Justice Shri Arun Mishra, Chairperson NHRC India, is known for his commitment to environment and human rights. He is very compassionate to the poor. It is indeed a privilege to listen to his insightful words at the Commission. His approach is to ensure justice and fair treatment to helpless and poor. His thought process and action reflect the spirit of NHRC. On behalf of all of us, I take this opportunity to extend a very warm welcome to Justice Arun Mishra ji, Chairperson NHRC India. Thank you very much, sir, for your stewardship and continued guidance. Dr. D.M. Mule and Shri Rajiv Jain, Honorable Member of the Commission, always keep on pushing various stakeholders, especially government and its agencies, to be fair and ensure justice to people. Their approach and relentless pursuit reflects the spirit of the Commission. I welcome both of you, sir. I extend a very warm welcome to members of Judiciary and former judges of Supreme Court and High Courts. Thank you very much, sir, for being here with us today. It is a privilege to extend a very warm welcome to the members of Diplomatic Corps. We value your support and presence here today. I also welcome chairpersons and members of various statutory organizations, state human rights commissions, former chairperson and member of NHRC, and members of legal fraternities and senior officers of the government. It is heartening to note that special rapporteurs, special monitors, members of the core group, and human rights defenders are present here. We are grateful to your presence and wholehearted support. Let me extend a very warm welcome to special invitees and friends with special needs who are here in large number, academicians, researchers, representatives of civil society, business, and media. I am delighted to welcome students and researchers from various institutions. Your presence indicates how younger generation is interested and involved in human rights issues. As we know, Human Rights Day emphasizes the importance of protecting and advocating for the rights and dignity of every individual. It also focuses on promoting equality and addressing ongoing challenges related to human rights violations. In India's cultural ethos, concept of fraternity is so deep-rooted that for us, rights and duties go together, and we always think about others. This is the strength of and ethos of Indian society. That's why Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole world is one family, is an article of faith. Today, we are also reminded of the critical role the National Human Rights Commission has been playing since its inception in 1993 in protecting and promoting human rights in the country. Over the 30 years, the NHRC has played a vital role in upholding human rights, investigating complaints of human rights abuses, taking up cases suo motu, monitoring the implementation of human rights laws, and making recommendations to ensure protection of human rights, advocating for justice and addressing violations across the country. In these 30 years, the Commission has resolved more than 22 lakh cases and recommended financial assistance to the tune of rupees 230 crore to the victims of human rights violation. Every year, about 90,000 to 1 lakh cases are handled by the Commission. I would like to highlight here that National Human Rights Commission works in partnership with various stakeholders, including government and its agencies, SHRCs, special monitors, special rapporteurs, NGOs, CBOs, HRDs, core group members. In HRC, we always try to reach out to people. In this spirit, it has developed and put in place HRC Net Portal to lodge and track complaints online. One can see the progress and outcomes of complaints that are received by mail, phone, or by any other means. NHRC has ensured that anyone from anywhere can file a complaint related to human rights violation. An individual can also file a complaint on behalf of another person or a victim. There is no requirement of an affidavit or an advocate. In HRC, complaints are treated expeditiously and without any expenses incurred by victims. NHRC believes in reaching out to people and organize open hearings, camp sittings, meeting with press in different parts of the country. In fact, NHRC has a proactive approach to solve cases related to human rights violations. There are cases which reflect such violation across states or over the time are issues of critical importance. Then the Commission takes systematic measures and organize open house discussion, hold seminars and meetings with different stakeholders. Based on the same, advisories are formed up by the Commission which have actionable point. We have issued a number of advisories in last few years, and let us commemorate this special day with hope and commitment to build a society wherein human rights are not just a set of laws, but each and every individual is treated with dignity and respect. We should be contributing in the making of society where empathy and compassion are the driving forces behind all our decisions. Once again, I welcome you all and thank you for joining the Human Rights Day celebration. Thank you very much.
राष्ट्रीय मानवाधिकार आयोग के महासचिव श्री भरतलाल अपना वक्तव्य दे रहे थे और सभी का स्वागत किया उन्होंने.
Yes, that was the Secretary General of the National Human Rights Commission, Shri Bharatlal, who delivered the welcome address, and now the UN representative to India, Mr. Shombi Sharp, will be reading out the message of the UN Secretary General.
Your Excellency, the Honorable Vice President of India, Honorable Chairperson, members, and Secretary General of the National Human Rights Commission, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, namaskar. Mujhe Bharat Mandapam mein aakar bahut khushi hui. And on behalf of the United Nations Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, and the UN system in India, it is a great privilege to join you for this observance of the very special 75th anniversary of Human Rights Day, commemorating one of the most groundbreaking international commitments among countries ever made, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and to share with you the Secretary General's global message on this occasion. And I quote, "All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights." The iconic opening sentence of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is as important today as it was when it was adopted 75 years ago. The Universal Declaration is a roadmap helping to end wars, heal divisions, and promote lives of peace and dignity for all. But the world is losing its way. Conflicts are raging. Poverty and hunger are increasing. Inequalities are deepening. The climate crisis is a human rights crisis that is hitting the most vulnerable hardest. Authoritarianism is on the rise. Civic space is shrinking, and the media is under attack from all sides. Gender equality remains a distant dream, and women's reproductive rights are being rolled back. Today, it is more important than ever to promote and respect all human rights, social, cultural, economic, civil, and political, which protect us all. The Universal Declaration shows the way to common values and approaches that can help resolve tensions and create the security and stability our world craves. As we work to update global frameworks and make them more effective in the 21st century, human rights must have a unique and central role. I call on member states to use this 75th anniversary and the Summit of the Future next year to strengthen their commitment to the timeless values of the Universal Declaration. And on Human Rights Day, I urge people around the world to promote and respect human rights every day for everyone, everywhere. End of quote. Dear colleagues, I wish you all a very happy Human Rights Day. आप सभी को मानव अधिकार दिवस की शुभकामनाएं। बहुत धन्यवाद।
मानवाधिकार दिवस की शुभकामनाएं उन्होंने दी और यूएन सेक्रेटरी जनरल के संदेश को हम सब तक पहुंचाया श्री शॉम्बी शार्प ने यूएन रेजिडेंट कोऑर्डिनेटर.
Yes, and now we see the release of publications of the National Human Rights Commission, and the Honorable Vice President will be unveiling these publications and releasing them. The chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission has handed over the set of publications to the Honorable Vice President of India, and the Honorable Vice President has just released the publication, and both the members of the National Human Rights Commission, Shri Hon'ble and Shri Rajiv Jain, have also released the publications, and the second publication is also been released by the Honorable Vice President of India here at the Bharat Mandapam, and all the dignitaries on the dais are displaying the publication that has been just released by the Honorable Vice President of India. And now the third publication has been handed over by Justice Arun Mishra, the chairperson NHRC, to the Honorable Vice President of India, and the Honorable Vice President has just released the third publication of the National Human Rights Commission for the year 2023. And as we have been observing all through the morning, that today is the 75th anniversary since the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was adopted by the UN General Assembly. The Chairperson, National Human Rights Commission of India, Justice Arun Mishra.
Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji, esteemed members of the Commission, Shri Hon'ble Secretary General, Justice Pankaj Vithan, the Supreme Court of India, Justice Rupam Sharma, former the Supreme Court of India, Dr. Chan Bhanu Satpathy, Chairperson, members of the Tribunal, National Commission, State Commission, officers of the central state government, office bearer, representative of United Nations organizations, diplomats, learned members of the bar, media persons, civil society members, distinguished invitees, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we have assembled here to celebrate the Human Rights Day. It is Amrit Kal of our independence and signifies 30 years journey of NHRC. I welcome and congratulate all. Honorable Vice President Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji is a jurist who has always fought for the rights of the people. He always stood against injustice and is committed to the basic values of our cultural ethos. He has been a source of strength to all of us. Human Rights Day is a reminder of equality, justice and freedom and respect for human rights. Commission is committed to protecting and promoting the human rights of people living here. Vedas, Upanishads, various Dharma Shastras resonate with the principle that align with the essence of human rights, respect for individuals' intrinsic worth, and the need for ethical conduct in society. Dharma is source of law and justice. Our cultural ethos and values are reflected in our constitution. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights contains ideals that conform to our values. Indian culture is for standing on the side of justice. The Gurukul system, depicted in texts like Mahabharata, underscores the importance of education, emphasizing the right to access knowledge. History shows that India has always been rich and diverse in cultures, religions and traditions. We believe in non-violence, as violence is violative of human rights. Ahimsa paramo dharmam, dharma ahimsa tathaiva means non-violence is the highest virtue. Violence is the worst sin. Gautam Buddha and Mahavir Swami represented essence of our values. Even today, their message of non-violence and peace resonates the human rights discourse. Both governmental and individual responsibilities are integral to creating a just and equitable society where human rights are valued, protected and upheld for every individual. Yatra dharma tatra jaya, yatra adharma tatra dukham, tatra satyasya yatrasti tatra sarve sukhi bhavantu. Where there is righteousness, there is victory, and where there is iniquity, there is suffering. Wherever there is truth, all are happy. The ethical verifications of advancing technology are a matter of grave concern. Challenges of modern technology lead to the fabric of contemporary society. Dramatic rise in inequality and the triple predatory crisis, climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution require immediate attention. New digital technologies have transformed the way people live, also help drive progress for all the sustainable development goals. The internet is useful but has a dark side, infringing on privacy through the spread of hate speech, misinformation, undermining democratic process, including online violence against women and children. When improperly or maliciously used, it can fuel divisions within and between communities to undermine human rights. Business enterprises are a major source of investment, innovation and development and can be significant driver in achieving the sustainable development goals. At the same time, businesses must effectively address human rights concerns. Institutions of local self-governance, municipal and panchayat bodies play a crucial role in advancing human rights and promoting the concept of fraternity improving the quality of life by ensuring clean water supply, sanitation, public health, and ensuring equality for citizens. These institutions are indispensable in implementing constitutional values of Swaraj on the ground. The municipal bodies and panchayats must effectively and transparently discharge their statutory functions enjoined upon them. The people have to be at the center of all our development efforts, which is human-centric. We must not leave anyone behind. We must support the vulnerable and by affirmative action. Women and children must be kept at the center of achieving sustainable development goals. Human rights can only be fully upheld if all the women and children feel safe and secure and have improved quality of life. They will enjoy their rights when these goals are achieved. In an interdependent world, the COVID-19 pandemic, which not only disrupted the world economy and livelihood but took away millions of lives, has shown us that there is a need for transparency in information sharing and collaboration to focus on building resilient framework which will serve not only present but future generations and holistic well-being of entire humanity. India has provided COVID-19 to over 100 countries and administered 2 billion doses to the citizens, and also created a digital framework for administering vaccines. Food grains were supplied to 800 million people when there was loss of livelihood. It shows the concern of this country for human rights. We have faced problems of serious spurious drugs, medicines, and food adulteration, which must be dealt with stringently and expeditiously. Another issue faced by the young generation is drug addiction, which is matter of grave concern. The young generation has become vulnerable. They have to live with consequences. Our responsibility is to act decisively, not only to contain but to eliminate the availability and use of drugs. Terrorism causes grave violations of human rights of citizens in the whole world. It has been seen that innocent people suffer. Condoning or sympathizing with terror activities and terrorists is a great disservice to the cause of human rights. We must not glorify or sympathize with them. NHRC India recently hosted 28th Conference of Asia Pacific Countries. It brought out the Delhi Declaration, unanimously incorporating Indian ethos. I want to highlight that Nation Human Rights Commission works in partnership with various stakeholders, HRD and civil societies. We have a net portal online management system, and we have issued large number of advisories, including advisory on mental health, rights of truck driver, environmental pollution, welfare of transgenders, mitigation of self-harm and suicide attempts by prisoners, child sexual abuse material to be removed from internet, prevent and mitigate ocular trauma, children and workers. Let me flag a few burning issues in the last with huge ramifications on human rights on a vast scale. Firstly, poverty impedes people from thoroughly enjoying their human rights. Ensuring housing, clean water, toilets, electricity, cooking gas, access to healthcare and banking services ensure human rights and dignity to individuals. Emphasizing that no one is left out on complaints, the Commission issues directions regularly. Digital governance has resulted in rooting out corruption. The war against poverty must not only be continued but also accelerated so that the people of this country have an improved quality of life and live with dignity. Secondly, climate change. Increased frequency and intensity of extreme weather events like prolonged drought, high intensity rainfall, cyclones, floods pose enormous challenges. It affects human rights and it causes loss of life and livelihood, displaces communities, disrupts access to resources and increases conflict over scarce resources. Climate-induced crisis is a global issue. The developed countries have contributed substantially to creating this crisis. Poor are the worst affected persons. This is the duty of the rich to contribute to mitigating the crisis. When the poor consume electricity, it brings light to their home so that children can read and write. Thirdly, harmonizing human rights in business. With expanded economic activities, high economic growth and rising prosperity, India is developing into major manufacturing hub. It is therefore essential to harmonize human rights and climatic issues in business. Fourthly, women empowerment in the workplace is a crucial aspect of fostering gender equality. Ensuring workplace security is essential to creating an environment of dignity where women can thrive professionally without facing discrimination, harassment or unsafe conditions. Many of our daughters are going to places to master professionally. It becomes much easier if there are 2 earning members in each family instead of just 1. Fifthly, cyberspace must be safe and secure. Cybercrime infringes on the very right to life. Dignity violates human rights in several ways, and national security is compromised. Digital forensic and regulatory regimes must keep pace with technological advancement. International cooperation is required to keep cross-border cyberspace beneficial to humanity. Considering 96% is a dark web, similarly we have to care for artificial intelligence and deep fake. Lastly, I would like to mention that vulnerable groups, including transgender persons and persons with mental illnesses, sex workers, beggars, destitute, elderly, orphan children, and persons in need must be strengthened and empowered. Their human rights violation must be addressed on priority. With sensitivity to bear their plight, we must do everything in our capacity and beyond to make their lives more meaningful and dignified. Our strength is unity in diversity, embracing Manav Dharma, that is humanity, is our religion. Mahapurushas propounded that the highest attainment for human is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future, has never had more resonance. This statement is not just a call for unity, it is an affirmation of our shared destiny and mutual responsibility as inhabitants of a single planet. Our scripture records, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, meaning let the entire world be happy. This is part of our cultural ethos and philosophical thinking. The theory of karma for the enjoyment of rights find a place in Article 51A of our Constitution. Let us go to work together to fulfill the aims. In an age marked by rapid technological advancement, globalization, and an increasing inter-human socio-cultural fabric, may our shared commitment propel us to forward a tomorrow where the inherent equity, dignity, and rights of every person are acknowledged and protected by us all. Thank you.
राष्ट्रीय मानवाधिकार आयोग के अध्यक्ष न्यायाधीश श्री अरुण मिश्रा अपने विचारों के साथ आज के विशेष दिन और अब आज के कार्यक्रम के मुख्य अतिथि भारत के माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति श्री जगदीश धनखड़ अपने विचारों के साथ। श्री जगदीप धनखड़ अपने विचारों के साथ कुछ एक पलों में डायस के सामने।
Yes, indeed, Preeti, we heard the Chairman, National Human Rights Commission, talk on the importance of Human Rights Day and what all the Commission is doing. And now the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar.
First, it was very soothing. I could release 3 books with soothing and covering it. Otherwise, it is very painful. The book sought to be released is so heavily controlled. You have to do everything under the sun to get to the book. Congratulations to the chairman for making it soothing. Distinguished Chairman of National Human Rights Commission, Justice Arun Mishra. In his emotive address, he has traversed the accomplishments and the challenges we face. Distinguished members of the Commission, distinguished audience, my greetings to all present here as we are in togetherness stakeholders in promotion of human rights. Greetings to all on this momentous occasion, the 75th Human Rights Day, marking the 75th anniversary of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. A coincidence, it just follows our Amrit Kal, and our Amrit Kal has become our Gaurav Kal, primarily due to blossoming of human rights and values. Friends, we had the occasion to get a message from the Secretary General of United Nations. It would have been appropriate and worthwhile to take note of the massive revolutionary affirmative changes that are taking place in Bharat, home to 1/6 of humanity, on promotion of human rights. No part of the globe is so blossoming, prospering with human rights as our country is doing. And why not? Our civilizational ethos, constitutional framework reflect our deep commitment to respecting, safeguarding, and nurturing human rights. It is in our DNA. Human rights are spinally strengthened when there is human empowerment in sharp contradiction to fiscal patronage. Empowerment of pocket by fiscal grant only increases dependence. The politics of so-called freebies, for which we see mad race, distort expenditure priorities. Freebies, as per economic giants, undercut the basic framework of macroeconomic stability. There needs to be a healthy national debate how expensive this patronage is for the economy, life quality, and social cohesion in the long run. I would greatly appreciate National Human Rights Commission catalyzing a debate, coming out with a paper that can be extremely informative, motivational, and inspirational for the people at large. And those who are in seats of governance can be enlightened that we need to empower not pockets, but human minds, human resource. Friends, greatly appreciate massive infrastructural growth in the country as it is quintessential to proliferation and empowerment of human rights. Human rights blossom in a society where there is equality of law and access to justice for all. None is above the law. Be you ever so high, the law is always above you, is the new norm in the country. A big paradigm shift. There was a time when some thought they were above law. There was a time when some thought they were beyond the reach of law. Now all high and mighty, you may be just anybody. You are accountable to law. This is happening. It is an inalienable facet of promoting human rights. Friends, transparency and accountable governance, a new norm, is a game changer for promoting human rights. Its dividends are resulting. Imagine a scenario. Who are the sufferers when the governance is not transparent? It is not accountable. The poor, the vulnerable, the needy, the women. This is a big game changer exercise that is a ground reality in Bharat. Employment of technology in service delivery has resulted and strengthened human rights. This is not just a sentence. Go to any village. Deep penetration of technology. Efficient delivery of services. The benefit is to the last person. Whatever is intended to be reached to a particular person reaches now, without cut, without deduction, without middleman, and directly to his or her bank account. Can there be a greater giant step for promotion of human rights? Global entities need to recognize it and understand it. Our Bharat is an example to the world how to nurture, blossom, promote, and flourish human rights. One has to step out of the metros to see the ground reality. Nurturing human rights is the cornerstone of democracy. There is wholesome convergence in our country of all the organs of the state, legislature, judiciary and executive, for making us proud for evolution of ecosystem where human rights flourish now as never before. Our robust judicial system gave us Visakha. Our robust judicial system has generated interventions that are unrivaled elsewhere in the globe on the score of human rights. We are home to 1/6 of humanity. We are now role model to the world in nurturing human rights. India's profound commitment to human rights is firmly anchored in a robust system we have in judiciary, executive, and legislature. Friends, the world was facing pandemic COVID. We cared for the human rights of other countries. We took care of our people and provided co-vaccine to 100 countries. There needs to be global reflection, recognition of this, particularly by global entities that are engaged in assessing these things. We have been treated most unfairly by certain entities because they have not delved deep into our performance. Scratching the surface is not appropriate on such aspects. Justice Arun Mishra call for removing the stigma associated with mental illness has been impactful and widely appreciated. The learned judge, the chairman, was reflecting on something which is a global challenge to us. He invited everyone's attention to this important aspect. Justice Mishra has all through keenly engaged in sensitizing the society to treat human rights defenders as their eyes and ears. He firmly spoke for human rights defenders. He became their defender to evolve a system so that we all become friendly to promotion of human rights. NHRC deserves to be complimented for encapsulating a sense of human rights in one of its reports, underlining that the law of the ruler and not rule of law is the bane of human rights. That was in the context of post-poll violence. A very comprehensive report, and that has brought about reformation. Visitation of consequences for exercise of franchise is worrisome, but that is being contained systematically in the country. We have to note the positive change that has taken place after the report. Awareness has been generated. All have been sensitized. Indisputably, human rights optimally fructify when equality is established and inequities are addressed. On this score, by series of initiatives and policies, our performance is exemplary. The Honorable Chairman in his address has reflected on this. Look at what has happened to the people at the ground level, the people at end of the row, the benefits that have been accrued to them. Action-oriented execution of affirmative policies to alleviate poverty and uplift poor has been rewarding from human rights perspective as well. This has accounted for India's phenomenal rise, making it 5th largest global economy, on way to becoming the 3rd largest global economy by end of the decade. Friends, the greatest danger to human rights emanates from corruption. Corruption frontally threatens human rights. It undermines the rule of law, creates an environment where exploitation and discrimination can thrive, hitting the vulnerable and the weakest and the hardest. Corruption and human rights cannot coexist. The bane of corruption in India for long is now contained. There is now in place a governance mechanism that provides no room for nepotism, favoritism, and promotion, corruption has been neutralized in power corridors. This is a very big change in governance. I would appreciate global entities to take note of it. India's governance model is free from corruption, free from favoritism, free from nepotism, free from promotion. It is dictated wholly by transparency, accountability, and merit. As a result of firm execution by the government, millions have been lifted from the shackles of poverty, paving the way for a future brimming with economic opportunities, access to quality health care. I wouldn't dilate much. In a country of 1.4 billion, our health care is so strong, everyone is reaping the advantage of it. And as a consequence of the governmental policies, the health infrastructure has phenomenally, geometrically grown. Sound education system. After 3 decades, we had a new education policy that provides for growth of human rights also. The government has taken several steps to ensure that our growth is inclusive. What can be more inclusive growth than having banking inclusion, which is explosion? What can be more inclusive growth that everyone is beneficiary of infrastructural development? What can be more inclusive growth that everyone is getting advantage? The women are getting advantage by gas availability to them, water availability at the door, toilets in every house, and enormous opportunities for them to use their talent. They employ themselves, they employ others also. The government has implemented very successfully policies that we need to be proud of. It is because of execution of those policies that India's rise in the world is being recognized. India has emerged as a global leader. India is agenda setter now. Those who used to advise us seek advice from us. We have become the voice of African Union by getting them inclusion in G20. We have become voice of Global South, for the first time bringing them on the center stage. I am amazed sometimes that these historical developments of epochal consequence are missed out by people in global entities who need to be focusing on that. This is not a day for making a ritual statement. This is not a day to make replicated statements. This is a day to open your eyes, see where 1/6 of humanity is going, how it is influencing the world at large, how it is talking of peace, harmony, and growth. It pains me sometimes when those who need to be Dingjo become critics, chronic critics. Something has to be done in this respect. Friends, I say it with pain. We need to be alive to anti-enable and pernicious narratives and external calibrations that turn Nielsen's eye of our exemplary performance. I'm startled in a country of our size, 1.4 billion. People pick up courage outside to talk of hunger crisis. Don't they realize that from April 1, 2020, more than 800 million people are being given free food that will continue as per declaration of Prime Minister for next 5 years. That is the strength of this country. And some people have the audacity to get away from ground reality, distance themselves from facts, and talk of hunger index of this country. They need to revisit their approach, which is irrational, and if I may say, prejudicial to those who are engaged in shaping course of humanity. Friends, the quest to eradicate poverty and promote human rights in India, we have adopted a model which is very successful. And the kind of digital penetration we have had, that has been commended by world leaders, that countries need to emulate us. Our digital penetration is unrivaled in the world. Our digital transactions in 2022 were 4 times that of USA, UK, France, and Germany. And look at the digital penetration affecting human rights. Per capita data consumption of internet is more than that of USA and UK, USA and China taken together. Friends, I do not want to sound overcritical, but I am responding to the call of my conscience. When I see distinguished people present here, I can't reflect that none is present here. Each one of you present here is a nerve center, epicenter. You bring on the table huge exposure, huge experience. If I don't share my thoughts with you, I'll not be doing service to the duty or service to the post which I hold. Government policies have generated hope, optimism, and confidence in 1.4 billion people. Look around the world and look at the index of hope, optimism, and confidence. Our country will be rated very high. But those who calibrate it in air-conditioned chambers, closed chambers, cannot see it. They need to take note of it. Employment of technology to realize human rights. Ours is a country that has done massively. We are in the front rank. Our service delivery system has become transparent. Our public distribution system is so effective. We have employed technology. We have employed technology in a country where people thought this country may not be having enough knowledge in people to use technology. Honorable audience, our DNA is very strong on adaptation of technology. Our human genius is unrivaled in the world. It is making impact in every nook and corner of the globe, in every institution. What are we seeking from them, the outside world? We are not telling them congratulate us because we had African Union included. We are not telling them congratulate us because we have become voice of Global South. We are just telling them, open your eyes. Don't be prejudicially subjective. Don't cling to your predetermined thoughts. See the revolution that is taking place in 1/6 of humanity. And look at how India's rise is there on sea, on road, in sky, in space. That is our achievement. India stands for common good of the common man most successfully, effectively, and that is the ground reality today. These initiatives are provided. I recall the days when I was a student, access to credit was impossible. Now access to credit is easy. You just have to have an idea in your mind. If there is an ecosystem in this country that anyone can exploit one's talent and resources, potential to realize ambitions and dreams, that is reflection of Human Rights Index. And that is the scene we have in this country today. Just look at the startups, look at the unicorns, and they reveal the statistics, how ordinary people have made it big. Friends, I would think someone will do the study. Millions and millions have been uplifted from poor poverty. Millions and millions lives have been changed. Capacity building is our new norm. Every person in this country now thinks it as a destination of opportunity. IMF is not wrong. India is the fastest growing economy. How can I believe a former RBI governor who spoke it can't go beyond 5%? What data he had? He was here only while he held assignments located elsewhere. and doesn't say a word when he is proved wrong. The growth is 50% more than what he has indicated, and the highest in the world. We have to neutralize these narratives. We have to nip in the bud these sinister forces. They are enemies not of the nation but of human rights. Because this country is committed to human rights by virtue of its civilizational ethos, constitutional framework, and mindset of every Indian. During COVID, I was Governor State of West Bengal. I saw ordinary people hand-holding others. One who had difficulty food for himself made available food to others. That is our Bharat. We are a role model to the world how to nurture, promote, flourish, and blossom human rights. Our journey needs to be replicated by others. Friends, the world needs to take note of India's exemplary nurturing of human rights. It is transformation in Bharat, home to 1/6 of humanity. There have been impactful policies at elevating the poverty of the people by empowering them and affording them a life of dignity and hope. मैं आपको क्या बताऊं? माताओं बहनों से पूछो, आंख में आंसू आते थे, आज गैस का उपयोग करती हैं। सर पर मटका लेकर पानी लाती थी किलोमीटर से, घर में नल है। उनको रास्ता नहीं मिलता था कि डिग्निटी कैसे मिलेगी। सूर्यास्त के पहले जाएं, सूर्यास्त के बाद जाएं, सूर्योदय से पहले जाएं, कहाँ जाएं, कैसे जाएं। टॉयलेट इन एवरी होम। उनको नौकरी मिलने का कोई साधन नहीं था पहले। आज मुद्रा स्कीम के अंदर वो 50 से 60% भागीदारी है। मुझे पता नहीं, कुछ लोगों को या तो उनकी पाचक शक्ति थोड़ी गड़बड़ है या वो इसको देख नहीं पा रहे हैं। The world needs to take note of it. Friends, बात की जाती है नारी शक्ति की। क्यों दुनिया की शक्तियां सलाम नहीं करती कि भारत ने 21 सितंबर को वो कर दिखाया, और किस देश में कर दिखाया जिसकी आबादी 1.4 बिलियन है। 1/3 horizontal and vertical reservation for women in Lok Sabha and state legislatures. Why does the world does not open eyes to see that this reservation has a societal equitable component also? There will be specified reservation to the extent of 1/3 for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe women. These are big changes that have taken place. Friends, I wouldn't like to go more because I don't want to sound as a critic. Reflect, think deeply. I have only underscored fraction of our achievements. Fraction of our achievements. For last 4 years and more, I am witness to this development. I come from a family of a farmer. Does the world not know what is the meaning of human rights? When a tribal woman in this country becomes president of India, is it not reflection of human rights? When son of a farmer is vice president, when an OBC man is the prime minister, I am not a stakeholder in politics, but I will certainly have a sense of joy that my prime minister, our prime minister, is the most popular person in the world that is adjudged. When president of an important country says, Prime Minister Modi is finally very strong, I don't take it as appreciation. I take it as a reflection of ground reality because I see it every day. Every political party in our country contributes to our growth. Every political party is committed to growth of India. I don't see growth of India from political prism or contribution of political parties. But if some individuals have made impact which the globe has recognized, I just want to share it. Baki, everyone present here, ये heaven है, ह्यूमन राइट्स का उत्थान, ह्यूमन राइट्स के बारे में चिंतन करना, मंथन करना, सोच करना, इस हवन में सबकी आहुति जाएगी, सबको आहुति देनी चाहिए. Everyone has to contribute. It is everyone's concern. I am grateful to Chairman Justice Arun Mishra for affording this opportunity to me to share my thoughts with the people who know more than I do and are more concerned than I am about human rights and welfare of this nation. Thank you so much.
The Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar, delivered his address on the National Human Rights Commission and on the occasion of International Day of Human Rights. The Honorable Vice President mentioned the Honorable Vice President of India is now departing from the Bharat Mandapam at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi. The Honorable Vice President on the occasion of International Day for Human Rights mentioned that human rights is a part of India's cultural ethos and it is also part of every Indian's DNA to protect and uphold human rights. He listed out the various schemes and programs of the Government of India which ensures that the human rights of everyone is protected and upheld. The Prime Minister also hailed the National Human Rights Commission for its efforts in taking human rights door to door and ensuring that human rights is not only protected but also it is people who violate human rights of others are made accountable. The Honorable Vice President also mentioned about how global entities and agencies need to revisit their stance on various things involving India and how the world needs to appreciate the achievements of India, especially in the 21st century, where India is one of the most important stakeholders.
बिल्कुल कौशिक और भारत के माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति श्री जगदीप धनखड़ जी ने एक बात का जिक्र किया था कि हम रोल मॉडल हैं और इस पर वाकई में हम सबको फ़ख्र है, गर्व है। और चलते चलते पुनः आप सभी को मानवाधिकार दिवस की शुभकामनाएं। और जैसे हमने जिक्र किया था कि भारत के माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति श्री जगदीप धनखड़ गणमान्य अतिथियों के साथ भारत मंडपम से प्रस्थान कर गए। इसी के साथ मैं प्रीति मोहन अपने साथी कौशिक रॉय, स्टूडियो एंड पर सचिन और ओवरऑल इंचार्ज प्रमोद कुमार के साथ आप सभी से इजाज़त चाहती हूँ। नमस्कार। ये आकाशवाणी है। थोड़ी ही देर में आप समाचार सुनेंगे।
साथ ही ये समाचार बुलेटिन समाप्त हुआ।